K9RMR.
K9RMR.
Okay. Well, you'd be missing a very interesting presentation from the National Weather Service. And in addition to that, you'd be missing a really good fish fry afterwards. But that's life. Alex, KD9UBZ, and I'm sorry, KD9UBZ, N9CJT in the group. What's up with you? Okay, well, don't let us get you in trouble with the boss or anything, but glad you had the opportunity to check in and had a nice lunch break in the process. I'll break with you and Bruce, KD9RPB, yeah, Romeo Papa Bravo, N9CJT in the group. What's up?
Well, not much. Just trying out my J-pole up about 30 feet handheld. Everybody's sounding a lot better and clear. No white noise like I normally have on the site. Other than that, one of the questions I was going to ask, and I keep forgetting, but just curious if anyone in the group has messed with AM and HF radio before. I've kind of been listening around on it, and it's kind of remote control, K9RPD.
Okay, well, AM on HF, done it a few times, probably on 160 meters more than anywhere else, but let's see, 3895 seems to be a popular place, 7160 something, I forget exactly, but more likely 7195, 7295, just right up against the edge of the band there is another place where I've had a chance to pick up a couple AM contacts. I used to have, in fact for many years, I had a radio that did not have AM capability, but my old Alenco has AM capability, so I can do that. And Joe, I'll turn it over to you, K9OPL from N9CJT in the group, and I'm sure you can comment on AM as well. Over. Oh, well, tell Leah we say hi, and enjoy your dinner when you get to it. And let me try something here. I don't know if anyone heard that, but that was AM. Paul, N9TLF, your turn.
Well, that was interesting. N9TLF here. I could hear you. I couldn't make out what you were saying. It sounded all garbled like a Donald Duck thing or something, but it did have a sound to it. This radio will do AM, but I don't think I've ever used it in all the time I've had this radio, probably 15 years. I don't think I've ever used AM on it. It reminds me of that old Heathkit lunchbox they had when I was in high school. I think I knew somebody that had one of them, and I'm pretty sure it was a 6-meter AM, if I remember right. But I have been to a weather spotter class, but not recently. It's been several years ago, and it was very interesting. And tomorrow we're going to a gun show down in Louisville, so we'll see what happens there. And lastly, I'm looking forward to March 13th, because that's the day we get to change the clocks forward, and then it won't be getting dark so early. So that's a good thing. So back to you, N9TLF.
Okay, Paul. N9TLF and the group, N9CJT. just in case anyone needs the detail, the spotter training in Letts, Indiana starts at 9 a.m. It's at the Letts Volunteer Fire Department, which I'm assuming is still in Letts, where it's always been. And the easiest way to go is to go out 46 and follow the signs to Anderson Falls off of 46, before the big curve in the road, just east of New Bern. And that'll take you past Anderson Falls. When you hit the County Line Road, you jog over to your left a few feet, and, well, more than a few feet. You have to make a left turn and then another right turn shortly thereafter. And then that road goes straight into Letts. There's a flashing light on State Road 3, if I remember correctly, just before you get to the Volunteer Fire Department. But anyway, 9 a.m. and the chief, I can't remember Matt's last name at the moment, but anyway, he did text me and confirm that there would be a fish fry afterwards. And I don't know if they'll have it going right at 11 when the training is over or not, but it's always good. And this will probably be the first year that WD9HTN didn't make it there. Still miss that guy. Anyway, back up to the top. KB5SDX. K9 CJT in the group. Go ahead, Gordon.
Don't really have too much, like I said earlier. Kind of chilling out here. Yeah, I don't know anything about that weather stuff, man. You know, the only thing that might be more exciting is possibly a seminar on tax law.
And here I thought you were going to say watching paint dry.
Well, that might be a close third. I don't know. You know, honestly, I don't know anything about it, man. That's not something I look to do, and I certainly don't want to be a storm chaser, so in fact, I'll run the other way. I know what Mother Nature can do, and it ain't fun, but more power to the people that want to stand there and watch it. Anyway, the fish fry does sound good, but I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow for lunch. It'll get explained to me sooner or later. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Net Control, KB5SDX.
Okay, well, you were certainly in an area that's got its fair share of severe weather. The kind where you couldn't dig a deep enough hole because it would fill up with the storm water, and even concrete block buildings didn't fare so well. So, yeah, understand. K9UBZ, N9CJT. Alex, your turn.
I don't have a whole lot to add here. I would say another
Okay, Alex, good enough. Yeah, I've had my share of decent fish sandwiches here in town, too. N9DZX tells me her favorite is over on 17th Street. Bruce, KD9RPB. I guess it's your turn, over. Do well if they're planning on presentations or testing or whatever else might be involved in finalizing merit badge stuff, you get a pretty lively group. I can't remember the name of the tall guy with the curly hair, but he does understand French. Over. The table, K9OPL, N9CJT in the group. 7-3, I wish you a very pleasant weekend. A little R&R in there never hurts. And even with your work, I hope that goes real well. Paul, N9TLF, N9CJT in the group, your turn.
N9TLF, I don't know a whole lot about 220. I don't have a radio that'll do it. I've never been on it. I remember Greg and Seymour, N9PUG, I think that was his call sign. He used to get on 220 a lot. And I think there's a 220 repeater in Seymour, if I remember right. So I don't know if there's any other ones close to here or not. But and as far as the fish fry goes, I won't be going to any of those because fish is the one thing I'm allergic to. And as much as I enjoy using my Medicare, I don't really want to go to the emergency room. So it's been so long since I had fish when I was a kid, I don't even know what it tastes like. And I guess I'll never get to find out. So, well, back to you, N9TLF.
Okay, well, I didn't realize you had that allergy, but yeah, it's good to stay away when you do. Of course, you could always go to the spotter training, but that can be done without eating fish. Although I don't know if you're allergic to the smell, because there will be plenty of smell. They get started while with the deep fry while the spotter training is still going on, so it kind of permeates the area. Let's see, Joe is already signed. Well, we'll take one more sweep. Anything else, Gordon? KB5SDX in the group, N9CJT.
Well, I was looking at the 220s when Joe said that, and I saw they had one in Franklin, one in Shelbyville, and one in Seymour. So you ought to have some fun hitting repeaters with that. 220's an interesting band. I've never owned a 220 radio, but I've played around with it with some friends' equipment. Thought that was pretty cool. But other than that, I don't have nothing. So I'll just turn it right back over to you, Noel. So KB5SDX, clear back over to net control.
Quick question, Gordon. When you were fooling around with your friend's radio, were you doing FM or sideband?
We were just doing FM. We didn't mess with sideband.
Okay. Decatur County had a 220 repeater. They still have it. It's just not operational because there's no tower and no antenna for it at this point. Used to be a little bit west of Greensburg. And that reminds me that there was a 220 machine just northeast of Hartsville for a while. Quite a while, actually. Larry, WD9EME, had one up and was quite a 220 advocate. But Larry has long since gone to the Great Hamfest in the Sky, and his repeater is probably not around here anymore. Alex, I'll turn it over to you for any last-minute things. KD9UBZ, N9CJT. By the way, you have a good sounding signal this evening. And 7-3 to you. Bruce, KD9RPB. Anything else? Either. I know where there's an antenna, 220 beam for sale. any rigs for sale, but I've never messed with them. Have no experience there. I'm told it's sort of ideal in the VHF spectrum, but I don't know anything firsthand. And Joe's already signed, so Paul, anything else? N9TLF and the group, N9CJT.
No, that's about it from here. Don't have anything else, and it's good to hear everybody, and we'll talk to you next Friday night if I don't forget. N9TLF, have a good evening.
Okay, that makes me aware that I forgot to ask if there were any additional check-ins. So anyone else out there? N9CJT with the Simplex Fellowship Net.
Kilo 9 Romeo Mike Romeo, repeat, K9RMR, Randall, Taylorsville, Bartholomew County. Good evening, Noel, and everybody on the net this evening. They can hear me.
Well, that was a triple. I got AC9R, WB9SMC, and K9RMR out of that one. Let's see, I think Chuck won the duel at the beginning, but I was able to pull all of you out there. Anyone else wanting to check in this evening, please call now. Any relays? Okay, AC9R in the group, N9CJT, go for it.
N9CJT, AC9R. Nothing much to add. I've just been listening to the net and enjoying the commentary and having a bowl of chili, which was fixed 3 days ago, and you all may be aware that chili gets better every day that it sits. So there's one more bowl that's going to be awesome tomorrow. Just missed the roll call, but other than that, I pretty much listened to the net. And nice to hear all you fellas. Back to net, 73 AC9R.
If I remember correctly, you're operating on a used to be 11, now is 7 element beam, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. The old one was kind of beat up, and my brother got to looking at it one day, and he thought there might be enough pieces to put together a decent beam, so that's what he did.
I just noticed the Gigaparts had either 7 or 8 element high gain 2-meter beam that seems to be the most reasonable price for a beam antenna of any significant length. Front to back ratio of 25 dB, beam width of 43 degrees. That is, if you're running it vertical. I think it's narrower if you're, no, other way around. Oh well, I can't remember exactly. Let's see, what was the other spec? Oh, they claimed 11.8 dBd gain, which must be pretty good.
This one, we just threw it together and said, well, that looks pretty good. Stuck it on the tower and it works. So that's about all I know. AC9R.
Okay, well, stick around. We'll come back around. WB9SMC. Hi, Don. Can you actually hear me on 2 watts? Any comments this evening? What's happening? Catch us up, that sort of thing. Around. K9RMR. N9CJT in the group. Can you hear me?
This is K9RMR. Yeah, you're coming in loud and clear if you're on 2. I heard you say earlier you're on 2 watts. If that's correct, you're coming in fine here in Taylorsville.
Okay, so what's up with you today?
Well, not a whole lot of anything interesting, unfortunately. Just another day doing what we do. So that's really all I got to say, unfortunately. Good to hear people on the net this evening, and I can hear most of them. So of course I can't hear Joe. I never hear Joe, but the rest of them, with the exception of one, I can't remember his call sign now, but anyway, he came in. I could barely hear him, but I could make it out. But the rest of them turned out pretty good. So overall, it's doing pretty good, which I think is pretty good for my little radio. So K9RMR, back to net control.
Okay, Randall. Well, thank you for joining the net this evening. I think this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This makes 9 stations total, and I think that's we've had 8 before, more than once, but this is the first time we've exceeded it. So glad you were here. Looping back around, AC9R. Anything else, Chuck?
Oh, I don't think I have anything to add. I was just twisting the beam around a little bit to see if I could get Randall a little better, but I've got a pretty good signal on him. Just pointed straight south, so didn't get much better when I swung it around. You mentioned a 45-degree beam width, so I guess that would explain that. That's all I can think of. Again, 73 all. Back to net AC9R.
Thank you. And 7-3, Chuck. Glad you made it tonight. And before I go on to Randall again, KG9DK. John, your turn.
Yeah, it's called a U.S.A. You just, in your search window, DX, you'll find there's a I.O. group. Name, but that's what they all talk about. And there's about 3 or a couple of versions, a couple of guys that really, and the one guy I've been following, I think his call is it's I think it's W2 ABC, something like that. Has designed 4 versions, and the one I've been listening on is what's called the 3-bander. It switches 3 different bands, and it's a SDR and QR labs, and what they've done is someone with the software is able to modify the QCX, which is just CW, into a multi-mode. It's been a long process. It's been in the work over 2 years, open source, and hoping that somebody will come up and maybe offer a nice kit. Matter of fact, I think they are offering a kit of the last one he's developed. That's about the synopsis. You probably have better information, like I say, on the internet, and I'm getting up the nerve to try to transmit on it. Moving a little bit slow. This is KG9DK, back to net control.
John, what are the 3 bands?
Well, they can be whatever band you wanna roll your coils for. The current one I have, 40, 30, 20. But you could put in. The idea though would be to put 3 bands that are close together. Don't pick 80 and then 10 and then maybe some other. But if you pick 3 that's sort of like in a row, it's a little bit better for its operation. They actually have a couple versions out now that are about 8 or 5 bands and maybe even an 8-band, but it's relay controlled and all that. So I'm looking eventually that someone either I know the Chinese has put together a ready-made unit. It's not. I don't know how well they copied it and how well it operates. I've watched a couple of YouTubes both ways, and in one YouTube a guy praised it, and the other YouTube the guy didn't. So it's one of those kind of things. But if you build your own, you can pretty well put whatever band you want in it, because they give you information for all the amateur band how to wind the toroid. This is KG9DK, back to net control.
Okay, John. Well, that's kind of interesting. I'll have to look it up. Thanks for the info. Appreciate it. Let's see. Going back around, Chuck, anything else, or did you already sign permanently?
No, still alive. I don't think I've got anything else to contribute. Just working on a little light project here in the back room and going back and forth. enjoyed the net this evening. Y'all have a good evening, and talk to you later, AC9R.
Okay, well, thanks for being part of the net. As usual, you've got a very nice, quiet, and yet very clear signal. Full scale, by the way. And always appreciate that. WB9SMC, anything else, Don? A brief conversation about it when you were going to send it, but I don't think I got that one. So if you wouldn't mind, send it to me again, and I'll be sure to take a look at it, and thank you very much. Anything else, Don? Yeah, I'll look forward to getting that email, and since we have a, well, actually, I'm trying to think, is our repeater a Bridgecom or a Broadcom? To ditch the whole DMR thing, I'm sorry, to ditch the whole D-Star thing, it's just a matter of changing one module on the repeater to do DMR or Fusion or whatever. I'd still like to see the DMR, I'm sorry, keep getting confused here. I'd like to see D-Star get used, but there doesn't seem to be much motivation to use that mode unless it can link with other systems. And that's too bad. Oh well. This is N9CJT with the Simplex Fellowship Net. Randall, anything else from you? Over.
Not a whole lot. I couldn't get KG90K when he was talking, but then I was playing with the antenna, and I put my hand on the top of the antenna, and then he came in perfectly clear. So I don't know what that's all about, but I guess if you stick your hand on top of the antenna, and feels like one of those old days where you stick the aluminum foil on top of the TV antenna to try to get the station you're watching. So I got KG90K part of the time after I stuck my hand on top of the antenna, so I guess, I don't know, that it is what it is, I suppose. But aside from that, not a whole lot else going on, nothing to report, so I wish everybody a good week, and good night, and God bless, and this is K9RMR, back to net control.
Okay, Randall. Well, of course, that just means that you have a very electric personality. Hi. This is N9CJT with the Simplex Fellowship Net. Sorry, Randall, I couldn't resist. I think John's already signed, so let me just throw it open. Does anyone else have anything to add for the benefit of the net, or just crazy talk? It doesn't matter. Anyone else out there want to check in, or any further business for the net? N9CJT standing by. Jeff, K9JHA, once when he said my signal seemed to be a bit degraded and wondered if I was having problems, and I checked and I realized I had not hooked up the antenna.
Oh, boy.
I've done the same thing on 10 meters. I've loaded up a 50-foot length of coax that was attached to nothing and not blown up the rig, and then I've tuned up on 10 meters, not realizing I hadn't thrown the knife switch to connect me to the rain gutter and downspout. So two different antenna systems there that I could actually get a signal out. Well, so much fun there. Anyone else before I close the net? N9CJT. KB5SDX, KD9UBZ, KD9RPB, K9OPL, N9TLF, AC9R, WB9SMC, K9RMR, and KG9DK. Gentlemen, all of you, have a great weekend, and talk to you next time. N9CJT is clear. Good to hear you.
No, I'm not checking in. I'm just doing this for Barb. You or Barb might want to check the FCC database for license.
Okay, certainly can do that. I think, thank you. I'm not sure what's there, but happy to do it. I'm going to guess maybe that Barb needs to renew her license soon. So if that's the case, you've done your good deed for the day. Thanks, Dale.
Yeah. About a month ago, I've heard her on the local 2-meter repeater a couple of times. Well, anyway, this is not between you and me. I like Barb, always did. She got a license while I was an examiner, so I always liked Barb. All the people at St. Pete's. Good old Arnold family. Good people. K9RMR.
Now, she heard that and says thanks. So I'll say 7-3 to you and go check the license database. Have a good one, Dale. KC9FQ, N9CJT. See ya.